So welcome everyone to another edition of the Bay Area Content Marketing Meetup. I'm Rich Schwerin, co-organizer. I want to thank everyone for being here today. We've got a big presentation from Rosemary Brisco and a few others, which we'll get to in a moment. Rosemary is the owner of To The Web. That's a digital marketing agency in Vancouver, Canada. And back in January, Rosemary watched as AI and ChatGPT began to reshape marketing. Right now, her main focus is providing the kind of essential AI training to equip teams to navigate this disruptive shift. I'll ask people, housekeeping, please mute yourself. And if you could just put your questions in the chat, I'll do my best to moderate that. And take it away, Rosemary.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rich. So hi and welcome everybody. We have a lot to cover today, and we have two guest speakers who I'm sure that you're just going to really enjoy their talks, which I'll introduce in a minute. And also a big thank you to all of those people who filled out the pre-event survey. It goes a long way to help drive the presentation today. As you can imagine, we had 75 people fill out the survey, and so we have a very broad range of AI topics that were requested. We can't cover all of those, so I have posted another meeting in February where we're going to try to cover more of those topics. We also have a broad mix of people, so we have a lot of advanced people and people that are newer to AI. And I'm going to hope that I can satisfy both people. So let's get started. So one of the biggest requests was to talk about the different platforms. And of course, so much has changed. When I came up with the AI Showdown, that was when the whole debacle with Sam being fired from OpenAI. But I decided to leave it there because it really is a showdown between all three primary partners or platforms here. And the thing you need to know is that AI is already being embedded in all kinds of products that you're using right now, like Salesforce and Zoom and Google Workspace and HubSpot. And that's only going to continue to accelerate as well. So I am not going to read this whole slide. What I have done is I have created a Google Sheet that compares 4 primary personal assistants, chatbots. What I'm going to do today is just talk about the best use cases for these 3. And Rich is going to put in the chat that URL that I gave you. And what you can do is I'm going to keep this document up to date as much as possible because it has a lot of information about what you can do, what the cutoff dates are, and so on. So ChatGPT is, especially the paid version, is really the gold standard in the industry in terms of output quality and features. And it's my go-to place for content creation, particularly for things like complex tasks that require a lot of understanding. It provides sources now because it's connected to the internet. It has voice and image capabilities. It does data analysis. And wait till you see how close it is to replacing search engines. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Then there's Microsoft. And so Microsoft has labeled everything as a copilot. There are now at least 40 products that they have tacked on the name Copilot to. And in addition to that, they went and rebranded their naming convention. So I'm going to try to clear that up in a minute. So what I think that Bing is really good when you want short responses that include multiple sources, and then they give you follow-up questions. And that's really good because you don't always think of the things that you may need to know. And it's also good because you get 3 different modes of output. You get to do more creative when you want to brainstorm, and then when you need real exact information, you can select the more precise mode. So it's really good for that, those 3 options there. Well, before yesterday, I was going to tell you to give Bard a pass because I've been very disappointed with Bard for months. But yesterday, Google launched Bard, or Gemini Pro. And it is their competitor to ChatGPT. But it's a competitor to 3.5. So that sort of puts it, well, in my feeling, it's like a year behind because ChatGPT 3.5 came out a year ago. So I haven't really had time to test it extensively, but people like it because it's free, of course. And it's also good when you want multiple responses. Lots of people don't know that when you're in Bard, there's an option to look at 2 other options that aren't up on the screen at the same time. And there's also great programs called Claude and Perplexity and PI that you're going to want to take a look at. And then very quickly, this slide is just to say AI models are now going in all directions. And there are so many products that are coming out every single day to help you work in this, to do these different tasks that you have. But I'm going to suggest that you don't become a tool chaser because it takes too much time. It costs money because you have to stay using a tool long enough to see if it actually works for you. I have done loads of tool testing and found that there's lots of tools that are just not ready yet for prime time. All right, so this is just super exciting. So ChatGPT Turbo came out on November 6th. It was announced at their developer conference. And then within, I don't know, 12 days, it was already over capacity. So if you don't have a paid subscription right now, you can't get one. But when the capacity frees up, you definitely need to try Turbo because it's so good. So the free version, which is what more than half of you have, is great if you're at a starting point with AI, you're new. It's also good because it still does have some important features that are in GPT-4, such as custom instructions. You can secure your data by turning off your history. And then you probably are familiar with this drop-down menu for paid users, where in the past, you had to select one of these 5 options when you put in your prompt. So you had to decide, you know, do I want it to search the internet? Am I going to do data analysis or whatever? But now, with Turbo, it auto-selects. You don't have to think about what you want, what mode you want. It's going to do that for you. I still ask the model to search the internet when I want to make sure it's going to go out there and do that. Another nice thing for paid users is they get priority access to new features. So what's so great about Turbo? So it is the fastest, smartest model right now. It excels at logical reasoning and stays on topic during long conversations. Later in the presentation, I'm going to show you some long conversations, and it didn't used to be really great when you had a long chain of prompts, but now it is. It can also make connections. It can make connections. Can everybody hear me? It can make connections between pieces of information. Sorry, just a second. Pieces of information based on their context and how often they occur and how close they are to each other. And the way you might use that is that, let's say you wanted to analyze a large number of transcripts from a call center conversations to find out why they're ending in a negative outcome. So now with ChatGPT4 Turbo, it looks at patterns and links in conversations, and it's going to be able to tell you some of those things. You can also upload screenshots of documents and data sets and ads and ask it to tell you what it's looking at. And it can also hear and speak. Another big bonus is that they expanded the prompt window. You may recall that I told you before, I kept getting blocked at 2,200 words around there. Now it's 75,000 words. So you can do so much with that. You can also upload multiple files at one time. as long as each file doesn't exceed 500 megabytes. And then you can prompt about all the information in those different files. The training cutoff is now April 23rd with a promise to improve that. But, that kind of doesn't even matter anymore since, it's going to also be able to go out to the internet to look at things. And it came out with a new feature called GPTs, which are custom versions of ChatGPT that you can use for your own information, your own content. And Bob Machlin is going to show us that very shortly. That's available to Plus and Enterprise users. So let me show you a few cool things that ChatGPT Vision can do. So this is its ability to take an uploaded image and tell you a lot of things about it. So in this little example here, I was able to upload an image of my husband and I in Japan at a trailhead. And I asked ChatGPT to tell me where this image was taken, and it knew that it was in Japan. It told me it was a hiking path. There was no data in there to tell it what location it was, but it gave me great information. And then I'm going to show you some cool things. Here's a more complicated diagram. And this is a rocket. And I'm going to show you what I did here. So I was able to upload this rocket diagram. And all I asked was describe this image in detail. And ChatGPT just went through and gave me all kinds of information about it. This is my fun one. I took an image of an AirTag, an Apple AirTag, and I asked it several different questions at the same time. I said, tell me what the product dimensions and color scheme are, write a 25-word product description, search the internet and tell me the price point for this, and search the internet and list recent trends in consumer preferences. And it went through and did the whole thing. And the reason I'm not showing you this live is it takes too much time to go through this. As you can see what I'm doing over here, and this is a good sort of usability thing, you can save chats that you want to refer to on the left-hand side. So it gave me everything I wanted, price points, along with links to where it got this information. It gave me the trends for this. I was also able to take a screenshot of a web analytics dashboard to the web. And I asked it to give me information about what top 3 actions should I follow to improve the outcome of my analytics. And it went through and it gave me all that information. It gave me the top 3 things that I should do. It also, and it doesn't show when I'm just in this mode, but it also created a Word document that I could download that also included illustrations and some charts. So don't forget to ask it to create reports because it's really good at doing that also. And I mean, there's just so many things you can do with images. I mean, there's like everybody can use this kind of feature. I uploaded an image from our site. I asked it to tell me what the hex colors were and to show me the complementary X colors that could go with this. And then it gave it to me from using Dolly. I then wanted to show you how to use voice. So before, you used to have to type everything in, and now you don't have to do that. Now you can just talk to ChatGPT, whether on your phone or on the desktop. So let me show you how that works. You need a plugin on the desktop as of right now. And so I'm going to go down here. So this is what the plugin looks like. And I'm going to turn the volume on, and then I'm going to speak to it. I am meeting with my boss today to tell her that there will be a delay in the product launch of our new software. How should I begin with this discussion? What will be the most important elements to her? And it's thinking. And I'm hoping you're going to be able to hear the voice. Still thinking. Did you all hear that? Okay, I'm going to assume you didn't hear it?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, anyway, I could hear that it was reading me how to address my boss. And you know, it's so nice because you can take, once you download the app on either Android or iPhone, you know, when you're out on a walk and you want to be brainstorming about a topic for work, you can just speak to your phone now. Okay, we're going to dive into the next part of Turbo, and I'm going to turn it over to Bob Machlin from Gen AI Ignite. So Bob, I'm going to stop sharing, and can you share, Bob? Are you able to share?
Sure. Now, this will stop others sharing. So if I continue, I'll go to my desktop.
Okay, we can see your desktop now.
All right. Well, good afternoon, folks. As Rosemary said, I'm Bob Machlin, fellow learner with Rosemary, started in February as well. The focus of my practice is strategy in operational level consulting, where generative AI becomes an extremely important new technology to help me and my clients. Custom GPTs are yet another great innovation from OpenAI that has the potential of further helping businesses as ChatGPT has been doing. Over the next 10 minutes, I want to introduce you to custom GPTs so you can see how they may be useful to you in your business or field of interest, either as a user or as a creator. You should expect to hear a lot more about custom GPTs in 2024, particularly when OpenAI launches the custom GPT store. So first, if everyone can see my desktop, I gotta move the Zoom bar to get off the location. In the top left, you can see the new or current GPT Turbo pull down. Further on the left, if you want to start a new chat, you would click on the icon that says ChatGPT. Several lines below it, you'll see the Explore tab, which is going to bring you to where you will use or create GPTs. Before I go through this section, I'll just want to mention above, there are two groupings below ChatGPT. One of them is your creations, and it's showing 3 here now, or the most recent 3. If you have more, I'm actually not sure how it would show. And then below that is your most recently used one. So now going back to the main screen here, you'll see 3 sections. The first one is My GPTs. These are the ones that you have created. The second section is one's most recently used. And you'll notice 3 of them here. One is Rosemary's, which is going to be my first demo. The second one is by a well-known LinkedIn poster, Nicole Leffer. Many of you may follow her. I might suggest doing so. She complements Rosemary's training with a lot of very useful things for marketers. And the third one is one that I created called a PR Generative AI Assistant. I'm actually going to show you how to create that from scratch. Finally, at the bottom, you'll see Made by OpenAI. These are GPTs, you can call them custom GPTs, created by OpenAI. The first ones are ones that you're already familiar with that Rosemary has mentioned. DALL-E, data analysis, formerly called code interpreter, and of course the ChatGPT classic version. Below it is some fun ones, and if you go to the bottom, you'll be able to hit load more. So these are things for you to play around with, try, just to become comfortable as a user. So now I'm going to switch to show you a demo of Rosemary's GPT called To the Web's AI Content Library. What you'll notice on this page in the top left, under the drop-down, is a feature called Copy Link. So while you could easily copy it from the transcript from this video, you could also, when you find a custom GPT you like, you just can copy this and put it to your own file. When the store comes out in 2024, we don't know what it's going to look like, but presumably you'll be able to search that for things you're interested in. Underneath her description, and this is provided by her, you'll see hints. These are questions that you may ask. These are generated by custom GPT, but you can, as the user or the creator, I should say, also customize these. So in order to use this to, I'm going to actually once again move the window here. For expedience sake, I prepared a few questions for Rosemary's document. And the first one is one that I do commonly, which is called, what documents has the author of this custom GPT provided to create it? So in other words, I'm trying to get a sense of what can I expect within it. So what I'll do is place my cursor in the normal prompt button that we're all used to. Go here, edit, paste, and match style. It has that question. I'll hit the return button, and we'll see what Rosemary's library contains. Presuming cooperative response, of course. So she's apparently provided 2 documents. Okay, great. I want to know more what's in them because they don't give a lot of meaning to me as they currently exist. So I'll go to the second question, which is please describe the contents of these documents. So copy, go back to ChatGPT, edit. Oops, excuse me, I got to place the cursor down here. Edit, paste and match style. I'll hit the return key as well. And this is pretty comprehensive, very similar to the kind of output you might see if you ask ChatGPT directly yourself. So I'm just going to hit the stop button for a moment, but you get a sense of the robustness of Rosemary's GPT, no surprise. And just for fun, rather than asking Rosemary about something that I see there, I'm going to ask, what's the role of finance in the company, right? The document obviously is not about finance, but let's find out. And I'll show you why later as we get a little further. Again, cursor in the bottom, edit, paste match style, and so forth. So what's taking place here is you have the combination of GPT, this is GPT Turbo, plus Rosemary's document. So it's the summation. So you, for example, could use her GPT not only for things relevant to her document as it's currently architected, but anything about finance. So let me stop there. It gives you a sense, and obviously you could give Rosemary's a try and see what she has in her document as well as complemented by GPT. The next one I'm going to show you is we're going to go back to Explore, just to use that as the main page here. And I'm going to show you voice style tone AI prompt snippet generator. This was generated by Nicole Leffer, and you can see underneath her description, she actually has a link to her website. Identical to what Rosemary did, links to the website. It's setup, you set up such a link in the settings file, and due to the time constriction, I'm not going to demo how to do that, but it's a great new feature. So what I did with Nicole's is I started out, and I'm not going to demo it just because of time, but I asked her the same question: what documents has the author of this custom GPT provided to create it? And basically it gave a nonsensical response, right? Blank doc to get turn off training, affirmation, and gratitude, blah, blah, blah. This has nothing to do with what a generator is. This is one example, and I'll show you how to do it afterwards in a simplistic manner, of the security that you can layer on top of your instructions. So Rosemary,
Hi, Bob. Just letting you know you have 2 minutes.
Okay. Do you want me to given 2-minute time frame, do you want me skip what is going to show here, which was the analyzing tone prompt?
I think you should show people how to do it.
Okay, let's jump to that then. So back to Explore, under creating a custom GPT, it's asking, what would you like to make today? And very similarly, I've created the prompts to do so. So I want to create a GPT that provides assistance to public relations professionals. So I'll copy it, go here, edit, paste, and go for it. Now, the left-hand side is where you create it. The right-hand side is where you can preview your output, what it would look like. Obviously, it's taken a bit of time to create this GPT, even based on the limited information I would provide it. So let me just describe, so it's now updated it. AI PR assistance, no. Please name as PR Gen AI assistant. And you'll see what happens on the right-hand side. It'll change the name for you. Now it's creating a profile picture automatically. And Rosemary, I'll wrap it up, just to explain what's going to take place. Obviously, the process has taken longer than I hoped. So I'll say sure. So now this is ready for using. I could type away, and since I haven't provided a document, it would be just as you would have seen with Rosemary's, but instead it would be accessing ChatGPT directly. I was going to show how you could upload your own document and so forth, but I think it's pretty similar as you've seen with use of GPT. So that's how you create it. Once you are done creating, in the top right here, you would hit save and choose either only me, only people with a link, or making it public. So that's what I'm going to do here. It's going to get published to Explore, and this is it here. Okay, so that's essentially how you would create. Now, we didn't have time, but I could show you in custom instructions how you could restrict output and so forth, but that's essentially the high level of how you create your own GPT.
Thank you very much, Bob. And just
Sure.
since we have so much to cover, I'm going to ask you to stop sharing, and I'm going to continue. And I just want to tell you about one other way to do custom GPTs. So Bob showed you a way to do custom GPT within the OpenAI platform, but there are more secure ways, and there is a product called customgpt.ai. I have been using this for some months now on my own site. The one thing about this product is that your data stays isolated from OpenAI, and it's not used to train the model. It's fully encrypted and it's never stored. So it's a great alternative. I have no affiliation with Custom GPT. I did try another Custom GPT product prior to this one. we quickly learned that they had horrible customer support, and so we had to move on. This is an example of how you might use on your own site a custom GPT. This is a resource page for the AI Exchange. They're a great network. And you go there and they have this embedded right on their site. So you can now chat. I just lost my hearing. You can now chat with all their content, which is really helpful, right? It allows you to find things easily. So I think what I'm going to do is go to Crystal next, and then we'll come back to Microsoft and Google. So Crystal, I'll let you go ahead, and I wanted to introduce Crystal Brown from Beautiful AI. And what she's going to show us today is how to go from a prompt to beautiful slides. So Crystal, can you share now?
I think you need to stop sharing and then I can.
Okay. Well, I thought I was stopping.
Let's see. I think I can do it now.
I think you should be able to do that.
Can you guys all see that? Great. Thanks so much for having me, and I will try to keep it quick. I will say that totally available. Otherwise, I'm Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, I can't see your slides. I'm seeing Microsoft AI breaking down the difference of capabilities.
Right.
Oh,
I'm actually seeing 2 shares,
huh. Let me stop.
which is weird.
Okay, can you try again? I think that might have been me, Crystal. Sorry about that.
No problem. Let's see. How's that?
Looks great.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, what I want to get to is the demo part, but just letting you know that Beautiful's been around since 2016. We've always been Beautiful.ai, but we have recently incorporated more generative AI into our product. So we do use portions and pieces of different LLMs. These are not our own. So I just wanted to kind of preface with that. And I never have enough time to demo, so I want to get to that. But please, in the chat, there's a couple other beautiful people here that can answer some of those questions. I'm not going to be watching the chat now, but I will later. And also Crystal at beautiful.ai, always available to help out. So that's a little bit of an introduction. We are really excited to see going from prompt to deck. But I will also say that we have, while we're really excited about what we've been able to do, there's more to do. So we're going to go over a prompt to a full deck, a prompt to an individual slide, a prompt to image, which you can do within our product, as well as some of the text features. And then there's a little something special later. So there we go. For an entire slide deck or an individual slide, it can be from a text prompt, so just what we were discussing, as well as a URL prompt. You can put an entire URL, or you can upload a PDF. And so I think what I'll do is I'll go into the product to start talking about those pieces right now. I'm already signed into the product. If some of you haven't yet used Beautiful, you're wasting your time. I don't know why you're still using PowerPoint or any other product but ours. Shameless plug, but I can't go over all the features, but I will let you know that when you create a new presentation, something that's kind of cool here is that you can see some of the themes that are already here. And obviously, one of the great parts of Beautiful is that you can have brand controls for your company. So you can have your colors, your themes, your fonts locked. You can also have a lot of shared slides. So again, I know I'm not here to talk about our product specifically, but I want to let you know that's kind of what makes it very unique about what we're doing is we're putting generative AI into a high functioning product. So this designer bot, and by the way, Rosemary, if you see anything that should make me pause or stop, I'm not looking at the chat so that
That's
I can
okay.
focus.
No, you just carry on.
So here's our designer bot. Let's see. So again, you can create an entire slide deck from a prompt, or you can add context. So that's what I mentioned before. You can either upload a file, include a web page, or a large amount of copy and pasted text. For this one, I'm going to use a prompt. Let's see if I can pull that up. that Rosemary and I agreed upon. Let's see.
I can read it. Yeah.
No, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, good.
And I'm going to start this. It takes a couple seconds, minutes, depends. We are calling on an LLM to create this slide presentation. So every time you put that prompt in, it might be a little bit different. A couple other things to note. We've already instructed the LLM to limit to a number of 10 to 12 slides. We also, the LLM likes to create variety. Sometimes too much variety, you may not want the variety it has. So just kind of letting you know that we've tried to help it fit into slides that we think are more relevant. Okay, so we've got, you can see that it has a timeline slide, it has charts. These are things that, again, we've kind of helped it along. So here's the slide deck that it's created. I'm just going to flip through quickly.
Well, can you tell them what the prompt was? Because this is really cool that, it spit out this whole thing. I think it was just that, can you create a 5-slide deck about Apple AirTags?
Yeah, so I took out the 5 slide because it won't take
too long. Okay.
But you can, so is create a slide presentation featuring the latest trends with Apple AirTag. I want to know the trends over the past 5 years and see a description of the product and how it can be used. So there you go. What's nice again about our product is that we've then created design automation that makes things really easy for you. You can, you can switch where the image is quickly. You can customize the colors, the themes. So we get you started, but you may need to refine it a little bit, I think, quicker. You can add milestones if you want. If it didn't include things, you can auto arrange it, change the style, things like that. So of course, I'm going to make it look worse by doing this too fast. But you can see that it turned out a fair number of nice slides. I guess while I'm here, I'm going to show you that we also allow you to update the text. And this is going to be very familiar to most of you. So you can make it shorter, you can make it longer, switch it to an active voice, change the tone to be playful. Again, it's kind of calling on the LLMs to do things.
This call may be recorded for training and quality assurance.
I'm going to mute him. Okay. So let's see. So now I've gone over 2 of the AI features. The next one I want to go over is, let's see if I can get out of that, is to, let's say I'm going to add an individual slide, kind of blocking myself from doing this. There we go. So again, you can add a slide not using generative AI. You can, once you've done this, you can add by inspiration. These are all of our, what we call smart slides. So they do what I just kind of displayed, which is make it very easy for you to update, change, add bullet points, things like that. But if I'm going to make a slide with AI, you have the exact same prompt here where you can upload a file, a web page, text. Sometimes what's really nice about that is that you're getting closer. So as you all get better at prompting the product, the end product's going to be better. And that goes for beautiful. But the more information you give us, the easier time you're going to have getting the final product that you want. So let's see, I'm going to, I think you gave me an image. No, not an image, a slide. Let's see. So this is to create a slide with a chart showing the past 20-year growth at Apple. Some of you guys may already know this. So we there used a prompt that had both a URL and also words. Let's see how close it gets. So it is citing the source, and I don't know why it's only going to 2015. You may need to prompt it again to remind it to go farther. And that is some of what we're seeing with the product, is that you really have to get specific. And then we continue to work on, as the LLM gets better, our product seems to be able to get better with it. But again, here you are with a chart. If you need to adjust it, you can do that. If you want to create a different chart type, you can do that really quickly. And you can import data from any one of these sources very quickly. The last thing I want to show you, and then I want to open it up to a few questions, is image generation. So if you want to change this, you can replace, this says logo. Let's see, sorry, let me go to something different. This one's an image. I want to replace this image. I have the option to look through our library of what we have, but our designer bot calls on DALL-E 3 now. I think you had something you wanted me to use too. This was, Apple AirTag used on a bike. Okay. So I'm going to type that in. Last night, they made me do a panda with a hula hoop. So there you go. That's why you're seeing that one.
I thought it'd be more business focused than that.
That's true. Every time you use this prompt, you're going to get a different image. And I think, again, if you guys have been using any of the image generators, you're going to know that's true. And then you can click on it, pop it in. We can adjust, again, how this is shown, because it falls right into our product. And I think that's what makes using it so fascinating. I think, let me just go back to, the only thing I wanted to mention is that you guys can all use this for 3 months for free with your teams. You can add as many people as you want. So if anyone was going to sign off quickly, I want to make sure you saw the coupon code. And then I can kind of open it up to questions or other pieces that you want me to demo. And hopefully I will have the answer. I am not technical and I didn't build the product, but I will do my very best.
So you have to save this little code, everybody, so that you can try the product.
Yeah, and I can pop it back up at the end too.
And then we just have a few minutes left, few seconds left. I think your team has been answering in the right rail. So
Right. Okay.
I think we're all good. So
okay, great. So then just, again, so kind of going, just summarizing for everyone, these are all the ways you can use generative AI within our product now. We continue to iterate. And we have what we call smart slides to begin with, which are more automated. So we've already begun that process for you and sort of make it to the end product. And a lot of people ask whether you can import PowerPoints. If you've already been working on something, you can. And also we have a PowerPoint add-in. So when you're in that product, a lot of your business focus. So I'll let you take it from here, Rosemary, and let me know if you want me to answer any questions.
Well, I think, Kevin, do you want to just quickly pop your question for Crystal, and then I have to move on?
Yes, just real quick. Thank you, Crystal, for joining us today. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Great. I just wanted to ask, for Beautiful.ai, where are you seeing the most traction as far as the taken and bringing into their either into the company or are we seeing it more in the larger business, or are we seeing more SMEs? Where are you seeing the quickest traction?
It's both. It's for sure both. But I think it generally goes in through one department in a very large enterprise. Maybe it's a sales team or marketing team or training or HR, and then expands from there. But we are seeing a lot of traction in both, and hopefully someone on my team will answer that question as well. Thank you for asking that. And I really hope you guys all give it a whirl, and we welcome feedback.
Thank you very much, Crystal. Okay, can everybody see my screen? I'm assuming you can. I'm just going to jump back into finishing up the final two platforms. Microsoft Copilot, of course, you have the search, Bing search that you're all familiar with, and Office products. So I just want to tell you what the differences are because they're kind of important. So Bing Chat is now called Copilot. Bing Chat Enterprise is also called Copilot. The difference between those is in the data protection that you get. So the old enterprise version is what you will get through your company, and that has baked in privacy and protection for your data. Copilot, the free version, your data will be used, but it's great for personal use, answering questions, creating images, and so on. And then there's what's called Microsoft 365, which I like to think of as Office Copilot. It's $30 a month, and that's working with all of your Word, Excel, PowerPoint products. And there's some really nice things in PowerPoint and Excel and Word. I myself have not been given access to Copilot. I think it's because I'm on a Mac using Chrome and they want you to use Edge. And they tell me that it's coming out in December for all users. So there's some nice things you can do with PowerPoint. You can get feedback when you're rehearsing. You can turn a Word document into slides. Create great graphs and charts in your Excel data. And Word, it can make summaries of long documents just like ChatGPT can. Right. So Google, can everybody mute themselves, please? Thank you. Gemini Pro just came out yesterday. So there's 3 versions. One is called Pro, which came out yesterday. It is competing with GPT 3.5, and I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to take a few weeks of testing it against other models to see how great it is. Nano is their version that allows you to run it locally on consumer devices. And next year, they're coming out with Ultra, which is going to be its competitor to GPT-4. The only issues I have is to be careful around connecting Bard to Workspace because the privacy policies are not clear. It's not easy to know how to turn off the model using your data for training. When you connect Bard to Workspace, you have a different privacy policy. You're using the Bard privacy policy, not the Google Workspace privacy policy. So there's a lot of confusion around this. You just need to be careful about what you're putting in there. Know what you're putting in there. So Duet is the AI product for Google Workspace. And so here's the deal. They're talking about all these great features that they have with Duet AI, and many of them are not available right now. In Sheets, really all you can do is, it's best for just creating templates. In Docs, it's great. You can just write and proofread the way you can with ChatGPT. In Mail, it can respond to emails. Slides, that's a real disappointment. All you can really do is insert images from text. It's $24 a month on an annual basis. I'm going to unsubscribe until I think that it's really going to be a great product. And just the future of search. So I'm going to show you where I think we are going to end up with search. Let me show you this. So I am going to ask ChatGPT to search the internet and tell me where I can go to get AI training and consulting for my marketing team. Give me the top 3 websites that offer this. So it's now going to return a number of sites. Let's see, do I even have this? No, I don't have this. So we're going to stop it after it gets to the second one. And the point here is that I can now, within the description, I can now click through and go right to the site. And because it's like a conversation with ChatGPT, it's like we're having a conversation. It's not like we're getting, a bunch of blue links. So you can see what it's doing. It's going out and it's searching the internet, looking at all these different sites that can possibly answer this question. So to me, it's like, who's going to need Google? And of course, every time you do this, you get a little bit different results. And I'm hoping it will finish. There you go. Okay, so now, as you can see, oops. You now get a whole description, which you wouldn't get if you were doing a search, the exact same search in Google. So a few things to know is that with AI, it's much better at understanding intent. It's also really prioritizing the content creators' reputation and popularity. And it's just really good at answering with full answers instead of just the usual thing we see. And so here's the takeaway on what you need to know. I'm not going to read the whole slide, but verbs matter a lot. So what you want to do is within your content, you want to highlight the actions that users can take, like shop, find, download. In your title tags, you want to use strong action verbs, and you want to put those verbs at the very front of your title tag. And you want to write the way people speak in a conversational style. And, you know, for me, it's been like this for a long time. Really focus on conversions, not traffic. And content is still king. It really still matters that you have the best content out there. And we have 5 minutes left, and I would be happy to stay around and show you.
A lot of questions, Rosemary.
Okay, do you want to give me some questions?
Well, so a lot of them have been resolved in the chat. First of all, thank you, Rosemary. Thank all the presenters today. Wonderful. Like trying to cram 8 hours into one. So future meetup ideas, a lot of great ideas coming on the chat, a lot of questions on the chat. One from back up at the top is, let's talk about use case. When am I using ChatGPT versus my own GPT?
Oh, well, so when you want to search, when you want to have a conversation, that's when you're going to search it. So to use the GPT, that's when you want to have your own data so that you can prompt that. I think that you're going to use ChatGPT way more often than you will a custom GPT that you make. It really depends on what your use case is for a GPT. I simply created my GPT taking a bunch of content from my website as a test to see what that was like. But we don't know what the store is going to look like. I don't know if there's going to be any traction for that, but you're primarily going to use ChatGPT.
Right. And then that also led to another question of like, well, how current is that? And what is it? The pro version takes you through what, April of 23?
Right.
The free version was, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the free version is April 23rd.
Okay.
I'm not actually sure what the free version comes up. I think it's, I can't say, I don't remember what the free version is.
Okay. And just with a few minutes left, again, sorting through a long chat here. If someone wants to come off mute, if there's something pressing that we haven't addressed, a lot of things have been addressed, feel free or raise your hand or chat it again so I can find it. Let's see, one new message here. Yeah, go ahead.
Am I the only one who would like a whole session on custom GPTs?
Let's do it.
So I've already asked Bob to do that, and there's a whole learning curve. You know, this just came out, right? So there's a whole learning curve on how to make advanced GPTs, and so there's a whole learning curve we have to do before we can do that for you.
Excellent.
Hey Rich, this is
Yes.
Bob. I'd like to add to Rosemary's answer about GPT
Please,
versus
Bob.
custom GPT. And this answer is thinking about your company and your role. So one of the things you can do with a custom GPT, if you remember earlier, I said that if you don't provide the information and you allow it, it can access the entirety of GPT, is that you could put controls around it, such that, for example, in your IT consulting business, you could tell it to restrict answers to questions that only pertain to IT consulting. So imagine an outward-facing GPT that both takes your company's IT documents and has access to the LLM's topics on GPT.
Okay.
A longer conversation later, but just an introduction. It's custom GPTs are going to be very powerful for businesses.
Rich, in the last 2 minutes, what have we got?
Yeah, go ahead. Go, Rosemary. All yours.
No, what else do we have?
I was just going to close out and thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for participating. Yes, the replay will be posted to our YouTube channel. I'm going to see if I can quickly find that and send that link out. What else? What's our next presentation? I believe there's one. I don't have the calendar right in front of me, but more to come. Rosemary, when are you coming back to talk more about AI?
February 29th. I haven't announced it yet. And
oh, okay.
Okay, the problem is that I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet because, that's 3 months away.
Got
and so
it.
much can change.
I just posted our YouTube link. Thank you, everyone. If you're in the Bay Area and you want to meet in person, we have a rare in-person meetup in San Mateo at Fieldwork Brewing, right next to Hillsdale Caltrain on December 19th. That is actually hosted by one of our sponsors. So feel free to take a look at our meetup page there. Again, I'll close out and thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Crystal. And thanks for everyone for attending. We'll see you again on the next edition of Bay Area Content Marketing Meetup.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.